in charge of that. There's another group involved, and you will see them come up and give reports, and we're gonna have meetings. But we first had to do what we did and what we got approved.
So they can maintain its classification as a parks place, right?
It's a not only a historical, but it's a cultural. So we submitted with multiple facets of what we were doing. So the school is actually I believe one of the last remaining structures by the architect who did it. It's an architectural firm out of Austin, and of course the architect that designed it is already dead, but his family has an architectural firm that is still active. The functions of the school culturally were also identified in the historical designation. If you want, I'll give you a copy of the wording of what we submitted and the things that we pointed out in order to qualify both the plaza and the school as a historic designation, a cultural designation, and an activity of this community.
And I just want to add to that. I know why you're asking, Mr. Sertucci. I know why you asked too. Our constituents are always asking us, what about Plaza Florita?
Correct.
What about Plaza Florita? Unfortunately, this was a longevity, the most extensive wait that we've had, and it took us a long time to get here. You know, we've submitted that, what, 2 years ago, 3 years, almost 3 years ago.
No,
I want to say 2.5, 2 years ago, more or less.
We started working, the contract approving the work for the designation started 2 years ago. But it is, this is a very lengthy process. It has to go, we have to write it up. There has to be a lot of research that goes to the state Texas Historic Commission. They have to go through a review board. They only have 4 meetings a year. We were approved in June of this past year. It then takes 90 to 120 days to go to Washington. It's then approved by Washington. We have a plaque designation for each one of the buildings. We're going to bring a proposal to you of the plaque, of what is going to be written on the plaque. And these same people are going to do the work. There is a certain style of plaque that gets to be put up, and we're going to do all of that work. We will probably do a formal unveiling probably around March of next year. And more plans will be coming in prior to that, but that's the official start of the renovation.
Yeah, now that this is out of the way, now you're going to start seeing changes, and it'll still take some time because it involves the Historic Commission, but still, you'll see change now. Now that we got that great part out of the way.
I just want to go ahead and add something, Main Street, that I forgot to mention. Main Street also teamed up with Teachers Can for World Teachers Day, and we went ahead and delivered gift bags to all 101 teachers of Cotulla. So they received that on October 5th.
What I did do, and what Main Street is going to get involved in, is we have an ongoing project with the Stockmans Building, and I gave Karina the task of overseeing that project. We're finally going to start doing the inside of the building with the finishing touches. I've asked the architect to provide us with color schemes and things so that you'll see what is going to be placed in that building. She's going to take pictures so she can give you reports, and we'll have that building restored by May of this coming year.
y'all have any further questions for me.
No.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Karina, for that report.
Could I get some information on the code compliance, the status, how they're doing?
The co-
In that packet that I gave you?
you're gonna start,
Okay.
are you gonna give something?
Jimmy?
Yeah, that's for his category.
Just a wastewater. I'm going to touch up on the wastewater projects that we have. The easements. We did acquire the easement property next. That's owned by Ms. Mirta Garcia. That's going to be for the city 12-inch sewer line. That's going to go from the LaSalle County Airport. We're looking to go out for bids by the end of the year. And as far as the wastewater grade upgrades, we're currently at 60% design stage. And of course, they include drying beds, clarify revitalization, the headworks, and also a pumping station. We met with the engineers. We were informed that they need to do a geotech testing where the drying beds are going to be going. They'll be doing 6 test bores, and that's just to make sure that when the drying beds are installed there, that the ground is stable to hold all the weight. And we will also be using some of the spoils from the materials being pulled from Pole Street. We'll be using that to fill in the area where the drying beds are going to go. So. Y'all have any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Do we have the easement all the way from 624 to Guadalupe Street already?
No,
Or just part of it?
no. What we're gonna do is we're gonna come in on 624, and we have an easement at the outskirts of the prison, and we're gonna do an L to connect to that easement.
Do we have permission from the person who
From
bought
who?
the trailer house?
From who?
The person who built the trailer, put a trailer house on the...
They don't have, our east is outside of his property.
Okay.
So the easement actually meets up with the sewer line
Sewer line.
where we're gonna do the L.
Okay.
I have a question coming back to the code compliance. I do recall 3 months ago there was on the agenda an address that is Mendez Street. I believe it's a trailer house that belonged to Ortiz. That was taken off the list, and I don't see here. I just wanted to know the status because the residents, the neighbors, are telling me what's the status on it.
We take the list that we publish in the newspaper. Was it on that list?
No, sir, it wasn't the agenda that we had a meeting, and it wasn't on Mendez Street.
I would need to look at that.
Yeah, I just wanted to know the status on it so I can
I'll
reply.
call you and tell you.
Reply to the people
Sure,
there.
I'll call you and tell you.
Okay, appreciate
It's
it.
on Mendes and close to Lane.
Yes, correct.
That's where they knocked down those 2 houses on those 2 or 4 big pieces
No,
of property, no?
This is
No, sir.
something else.
Donde vive Mr. and Mrs. Amal Benavides.
Okay.
Across the street.
Across the street, yes.
Correct.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you.
I don't normally give a report, but I am gonna give a report. We have done 3 buildings or projects that we never had a chance because of the pandemic to do a ribbon cutting or an opening or whatever. We want to go back and do that. And it depends on council if you're okay. We're thinking of doing the terminal at the airport in November. And we will work with the county because it's a joint project. And we will develop it around the people that we're gonna ask to speak. and make sure that the judge and the commissioners are able to go, and then for us to be able to go, and it has to revolve around the activity at the airport because it's hunting season, and that's when he gets a lot of traffic. At City Hall, we're thinking of doing an open house type activity for sometime in February, and then we're gonna do the Plaza Florita activity in March for the unveiling of the plaque. The plaque normally takes about 8 weeks to make it happen. On the event side, Karina told you about the trunk or treat. We're going to try to have a veterans event on the 11th, and there is on November the 6th, a Saturday, a book launch by Jeronima Garza. She's the author of a book that is going to be published and open to the public, and it is a nonfiction historical book about an activity that takes place around the Wellhausen during the president's presidential visit. The launch should have a great deal of publicity for the city, and we hope to make that happen. We also need to do a great deal of research, and we will bring proposals to you to continue these activities that we're going to be doing that are focused on Florita and Wellhausen, and we will be bringing those proposals to you at the next meeting. Okay? That's it.
Any other departmental reports or committee reports? Councilman, any other questions?
Are the gas department and the animal control be speaking today?
Not unless you have questions.
I have questions for both animal
Okay.
control and gas department.
Okay.
Whichever wants to.
Gas. We'll go with the gas department first.
Okay.
Mr. Gerardo?
Go ahead.
Would you like to come up, please?
My question is, how many gas leaks do you happen to have at the moment or working on?
Gas leaks at the moment, off the top of my head, none right now, but we've actually repaired 3 last week, and we're fixing to do another one tomorrow. Other than that, I mean,
What
that's
do you
it
guys schedule for tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're gonna be doing removing a riser off that empty lot.
Okay.
We had a gas leak that we found that one of the city
Of the city
employees
gas room.
has underneath her house, and that gas was shut off. And so, because it's a line on her side, she needs to get her own plumber to go in there and put the gas line to run it around the house so that she can connect it to her appliances. Once that is done and it's tested, they would open the gas meter again. We do have at the city gate, a line that has a very small leak, and because it affects the entire city, that leak will be fixed at about 10 o'clock at night, and it should take a total of about 20 minutes from start to finish, 30 minutes tops. And it's once they finish that, everything else will be normal.
If you don't mind me asking, where is that location? City
It's
Gate?
directly behind the firehouse, where we have the little shed that brings all the gas in from Dillon.
Is that where Mr. Pat Niales RV park is? And then
No, there was a suspected gas leak at that location, but that was not the location where the gas leak was in the shed itself.
in the shed itself?
Yes.
Okay. Has improvement been done in that area? As I mentioned to you a while back, putting gates to go into the facility there where the risers are?
No, we talked about it yesterday, that we need to get a survey of the land so that we don't have a conflicting interest with the RV park or mobile park, whatever it is that's
Okay.
there, because the RV that we were trying to move was actually on our property, I believe, but I want to make sure before we say that.
Yeah.
And so we have a fence on the west side, but we don't have a fence on the south side of the facility.
Correct.
And that's the one we need to do.
Okay. How deep is that gas line, if you don't mind me asking?
The gas line actually comes up,
Okay.
and it's two valves that are sitting there side by side,
Okay.
and it's not in the ground. It's on
It's
the
on-
over
it's
the
in
ground.
riser. Okay.
Yes.
So no equipment is going to be needed, like a backhoe or anything like
No,
that? Okay.
not at all.
No further questions for him.
Councilman,
Thank you.
any other questions for Gerardo on the
No,
gas
sir.
department? Gerardo, thank you very much.
We do have a railroad commission audit that is gonna happen in 2 weeks, major.
Okay.
We need to pass with flying colors.
Okay, that's good. And who will be going with the Railroad Commission?
They come, and we have a consultant that helps us pass the test, so to
Okay.
speak.
Okay.
And
I'm just wondering how you're doing on your. Do you have enough capacity right now?
On like holding the dogs as well.
Correct.
I have, I think a total. It's 8 spaces, and I have a total of about 14 dogs in there. So it's kind of packed in there. I don't have like every dog, like a group of dogs in there. Just like 1 or 2 to each kennel, unless they're a litter of puppies, and they're together.
But you take dogs to be euthanized.
Yes,
correct.
yes.
Correct.
are you still having the animals being with a company that takes them for adoption?
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
That's good.
Excellent.
We did have an incident today. There were 2 dogs that used to belong to your brother, and they got involved with a cat. The cat scratched the individual, and they froze it, put it in the freezer. So we're going to take the cat to get tested for rabies,
Correct.
and we picked up the 2 dogs.
Okay.
Which brother? The one that passed away?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was on Huddleston.
Do you have any problems with large dog storing, keeping large dogs in those kennels? Or?
Personally, I don't have any problems. Like they don't. No, I don't.
Are you having problems with your vehicle or anything that you're having problems mechanical?
No, sir, not that I know of, not yet.
Okay.
The vehicle is on order.
Is it all right? Okay.
Any further questions?
Any other questions for animal control?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir. Councilman, any other questions on departmental and committee reports?
No, sir.
If not, moving on to item number 6, approval of minutes, September 9, September 28, 2021. Ms. City Secretary, was there any changes done to the minutes? No changes were done? Councilman, did you have a chance to review your minutes?
Yes, sir.
Was there any questions in them?
No.
If not, I need a first motion to approve the minutes on item number 6. First motion by Mr. Cotulla, I need a second. Second by Mr. Rodriguez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Moving on to item number 7, discussion and possible action on an ordinance of the City of Cotulla, Texas, rezoning Lot 1, Lot 2, Block 53 of the Oleander Heights subdivision from Class A Single Family Residence District to Class F Retail Business District as prescribed by the Code of Municipal Ordinances of the City of Cotulla, Section 58-5 amendments, declaring a public purpose, incorporating recitals, providing for severability, and setting an effective date.
This was the last public hearing, right?
Yes.
Yes.
We had?
So
This is Mr. Farrell's.
if you're in favor of changing the zoning, you vote in favor of,
No.
yes.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
First motion is made by Mr. Juan Garcia. Second is made by Mr. Sertuche. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Moving on to item number 8, discussion and possible action on a resolution of the City Council of Cotulla, Texas. It's 42 voters set for a selection of one or more members to the LaSalle County Appraisal District Board of Directors, declaring a public purpose, incorporating recitals, providing for a repeller, and setting an effective date.
We don't have enough votes to elect the board member. We previously supported Alfredo Zamora. I think somebody else has already nominated him as well. And I would suggest or recommend to you that you vote to back or support Mr. Alfredo Zamora for re-election to the Appraisal District Board.
Councilman, any questions on that?
Nope.
Not I seek a first motion to approve
moved.
item number 8. First by Mr. Juan
Second.
Garcia, second by Mr. Sertuche. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Moving on to item number 9. Presentation of financial statements by Mr. Jorge Flores. Mr. Flores, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Council members, good evening. I put the reports out of order. I usually have the sales tax report first, but I believe the first report is the hotel motel report. For the month of September, the city collected an additional 21,427. So for the fourth quarter, the city collected 306,622, and 704,513 for the year. Now the 306,000 represents 44%. So in one quarter, we collected 44% of the total. And the previous 3 quarters, we collected 56% of the total. So hotel motel is doing very well. Next report is the sales tax report. For the month of October, the city received $121,782, which is $19,268 more than last year, or a 19% increase. Next report is the statement of revenues and expenditures for the month ending September 30, 2021. September 30 is the end of the fiscal year for the city of Cotulla. But the numbers that I'm going to present today are not final numbers. We're still paying some September invoices in October that get recorded back to September. And there are also some revenues that we're going to receive in October, but actually pertain to September. So those get recorded back to the month that they were collected. So on page number 1, general fund revenues, $2,327,005. On page number 4, total expenses of $2,705,748 for a net loss of $378,742. Again, these numbers are not final numbers. On page number 5, water sewer fund, total revenues $1,689,474. Total expenses on the next page, 1,592,879 for net income of 96,594. The gas fund on page number 7, revenues of 400,523, expenses of 319,197 for net income of 81,325. And on page number 8, the solid waste fund, total revenues of 798,831, total expenses of 888,257 for a net loss of 89,426. During the month of the remainder of this month and the month of November, by the end of November, the numbers should be final. By then, we would have gotten all the information we need to record revenues and expenses back to the month that they pertain. Are there any questions?
Councilman, any questions for Mr. Flores on the financial statement report? Mr. Flores, again, thank you very much for that report. On item number 10, we're gonna postpone it. I need a motion to approve, to postpone item number 10.
A motion.
First motion by Mr. Rodriguez, second by Mr. Juan Garcia. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Moving on to item number 11, discussion and possible action on a proclamation submitted by Community Council of South Central Texas Incorporated, naming October 30th, 2021, a weatherization day in Cotulla, Texas.
It just says that you're in favor of weatherization, and it recommends and highlights the activities that was done by the South Central Texas Council on their work.
Yeah, did you guys get a chance to see what that is on the proclamation? Councilman?
I didn't read it all, but kind of get it.
If you had a chance to just glance through it and you saw
It's an attaboy certificate that basically says you're doing great work.
I need a first motion to approve item number 11.
A motion.
First motion by Mr. Rodriguez, second by Mr. Sertucci. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Moving on to item number 12, discussion and possible action on a request submitted by the Sacred Catholic Church asking for permission to use the plaza waived and permission to block Buckley Street to hold a plate sale and a rummage sale at the Guadalupe Hall.
We've always done it, so I would say go ahead and do it.
And it's a nonprofit, so we usually help nonprofits. Any questions, Councilman, on that?
No question.
If not, I seek a first motion to approve item number 12. First motion is made by Mr. Sertucci, second by Mr. Reynaldo Garcia. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Moving on to item number 13, discussion and possible action to approve a contractor's payment request submitted by Sal Construction Management LLC in the amount of $68,494.50 for the Pool Street Water Line Project.
You already approved the contract. I'm only bringing in the informational draw so that you know that we're gonna pay out.
Seek a first motion to approve item number 13.
A motion.
First motion by Mr. Juan Garcia, second by Mr. Sertucci. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Moving on to item number 14, discussion and possible action on an application and certification for payment number 6 submitted by McGuire Iron in the amount of $49,729.50 for the airport elevated storage tank project.
Again, this is the same thing. We already approved the contract, but it's a draw, and I'm bringing it to you for approval.
Yeah, and thank you, Mr. Wright, for the update on that as well, too. Thank you. I seek a first motion to approve item number 14. First motion made by Mr. Sertucci. I need a second.
I motion.
Second by Mr. Rodriguez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Moving on to item number 15, discussion and possible action to approve payment request number 6 submitted by CDM Smith in the amount of $37,670 for professional services regarding task order number 2, wastewater treatment plant improvements project.
This represents a change order where we're gonna do fill, and so we have to have a compaction, and the engineers want to make sure that the stabilization of the ground before we start the compaction is actually stable, and they're gonna drill 3 bores of 40 feet, and they're gonna drill 1 bore of 60 feet to check the subsurface of the soil to make sure that when they put the drying beds and the compaction that they're gonna be stable and we won't have cracking or settling or whatever. And that's what the money is for. It's already funded in the sewer fund or the clean water fund by the Texas Water Development Board.
Yes.
Am I correct by saying that there is going to be 4 dry beds?
Where it could be 4, it could be 5.
Okay.
And depends on cost.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Councilman, any other questions on item number 15?
No, sir.
No.
If not, I seek first motion to approve item number 15. First motion by Mr. Sertucci. I need a second. Second by Mr. Rodriguez. All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Moving on to item number 16, discussion and possible action to approve a master environmental service agreement between the City of Cotulla and CDM Smith for a geotechnical service
That's the,
for the wastewater
That's a
treatment
bore.
plant.
that we're doing.
Yeah, the board, improvements design project. So that's the board. I seek a first motion to approve item number 16. First motion by Mr. Rodriguez.
I motion.
First motion by Mr. Rodriguez, second by Mr. Sertucci. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Well, before I adjourn, I want to thank everybody for coming in. I hope everybody continues to have good janitorial ways in their home so they can make sure they wash their hands and use hand sanitizer. COVID is not over. So I just wanted to thank everybody for coming in and everybody for listening, and may God bless you all. It is now 7:56. This meeting is